Hello everyone. So welcome to BCOM Me 18075. This is English for Business Communication. And in this lesson, this is lesson 1. We are going to do the basics. So this lesson is mostly based on communication, oral communication. And we are going to go through greetings, small talk, introductions, and farewells. Okay, the basic things what you need for communication in English. Okay, so in this, at the end of this lesson, these are the lesson learning outcomes. You will be able to identify greetings and farewells in English, practice self-introductions in English, practice to have small talk in English, and also we'll be going through a little bit of writing. We'll be practicing practice writing, professional profiles. Okay, so these are the things we will be doing in this lesson. Okay, so this is not going to be a hard one. This is like the lesson 1. So we are laying that foundation you need. Okay, so when it comes to greetings, okay, so these are some of the greetings you can use. We can say, based on the time of the day, we can say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, right? And when someone says good morning, we say good morning, right? And we can even ask, how nice to see you. Good morning, how nice to see you. Hello, how are you? Or hi, how do you do? Okay. Hello, hi, or how are you doing? Okay, so these are some of the ways you can greet someone. And when someone says, how do you do? Fine, thanks, how do you do? What about you? We can ask, right? We can say, how are you doing? Not bad. What about you? Okay, so yes. So practice. The main thing is, so here to identify what are the greetings and how to respond. Okay, so when it comes to saying goodbye to someone, when you're done talking, when you want to leave, then we can say bye, goodbye. These are some of the ways. Some are very formal, like farewell. It's it's kind of old English. We don't use it usually. Okay, so see you. This I'm out is, wait, give me a second. Okay, then take care, take it easy. I'm off. It's very informal. I'm off, gotta go. These are informal ones. So we can say catch you later. It's informal. Okay. I know there's a baby crying in our neighborhood. So yes. So see you next time is a way to say goodbye. Okay, bid farewell. Okay, so these are some of the ways. When someone says see you later, yeah, catch you later then. Okay, you can, based on the formality, you can give the response. You can respond to this. Okay. So let's go through this video. I have a video for you. 30 ways to greet people in English. Let's go through this.
Hello, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are ya? You good? Yeah? Okay, excellent. Hey everyone, I'm Alex. Thanks for clicking, and welcome to this lesson on 35 ways to greet people. Did you know that there are 35 ways, and probably more, that you can use to greet people? To say hello, hi, good evening, good afternoon. Today, we're going to look at them. This is a great way to build your vocabulary and to increase your speaking confidence. So we are going to look at some set phrases and some set questions that you can use when you meet someone new or if you're just visiting a friend. So let's get started. First, very basic. This is the Holy Trinity of greetings. Okay, so we'll start with hello. You're supposed to repeat. Hi.
Did nobody see my poppycock post? There was no clappy claps on it.
Make sure you track your time on Fireplace. Then
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, good. I graded them with level of formality. So hello is the most formal. Hi is neutral. Hey is very familiar. Okay, so hey dad, hey mom, hey buddy, hey cat, your pet cat that you talk to every day because you love cats, right? Maybe. Next, we have some time of day greetings. So we have good morning for the morning. So repeat, good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Now for this, you can actually just, for the first two especially, you don't even have to say good if you're familiar with the person that you're talking to. You can just walk in with your coffee to work or school, say, hey, morning. Okay. And afternoon, not as common, hey, afternoon, or good afternoon. But for a good morning, you can just say morning, and most people will know that you mean good morning, okay? Next, we have two phrases here that are linked. The first one you use when you meet someone new for the first time. So if someone introduces you to their friend or a colleague or someone new at work or your school, say, hey, this is Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. Nice to meet you. Okay, so repeat after me. Nice to meet you. Good. Someone that you know. Hey, nice to see you. Okay. You can also say good to see you, right? Hey, good to see you. Okay. Instead of you, if you want to be a little more familiar and have the language be a little more loose, you can say yeah. So, hey, nice to see ya. Good to see ya. Beautiful. All right. Next, if you haven't seen someone in a very long time, a cousin, family, friend, doesn't matter who, someone who you haven't seen in a long time, you can say, Dan, long time no see. Okay, now grammatically, this is weird in English. Like, it's not really a grammatical phrase, long time no see. You mean we have not seen each other in a long time, but in speaking, you can just say, hey, long time no see. Did you repeat? You're on the bus. You're watching Engvid on the bus. That's cool. On the toilet? That's okay. I watch videos on the, no, that's personal information. All right, next. It's been a while. Okay, so it has been a long time, right? So you can also say, bonus phrase, hey, it's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a long time. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so repeat after me. Hey, it's been a while. All right, cool. Next, probably one of the first questions you learn in English, right? How are you? But let's level up this question a little bit, make it a little more natural. Naturally, in conversation, people usually say ya instead of you. So repeat after me. Hey, how are you? One more time, because this is a very common question. How are you? All right, good. Next, instead of how are you, you want to make it a little longer. Hey, how are you doing? I am pausing in an awkward way so that you can repeat. Okay. And instead of saying, how are you doing? You can just say very quickly like this, how you doing? Okay. And some people say, how are you doing?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before you go any further,
Okay.
Awkward pause for you to speak and practice because you improve with practice. So let's try this one more time. Hey, how you doing? Your confidence is increasing. I can feel it. You're like, oh my goodness, I have heard this before and now I know what it means. It means, how are you doing? Fantastic. Next, how have you been? Okay, so I haven't seen you in a long time no see. It's been a while. How have you been? Since the last time I saw you, from the past until now, how have you been? Okay, good, bad, great. And let's go back, do a more natural way. You can see how ya been. So instead of how have you been, you can just say, get ready to repeat with me, how you been? One more time. How you been? You got it. Next, how have you been doing? So here you have, how are you? How are you doing? How have you been doing? Okay. So instead of how you been, you can say, hey, how you been doing? Too fast? Okay, one more time. Let's break it down. Repeat after me. How ya been doing? Doing. How you been doing? How you been? Beautiful. Yes. Let's continue. So another way to say, right, like how have you been doing? But maybe in the present, how's it going? Right? Like how are you doing? Or how's it going? Okay. And with ing, sometimes we just remove the ing in speaking and just say, right? Going. Okay. So repeat after me. How's it going? It's going good. You can say, right? It's good, right? So things are going well. Life is okay. All right. And a short form to say, how's it going? You can just say, hey, how goes?
Doctors, nurses, and engineers who have ever dreamed of living in Australia now have an opportunity.
Okay.
You're looking at me at like, oh, English, Alex, why? Why do we say how goes? There's nothing. It's a weird way to say anything. But this is how people talk, unfortunately. So how's it going? Or hey, how goes? Okay, so how are things going? And that's later on too. So let's try this one more time. Repeat after me. Don't get tired. Let me feel your energy. How goes? Excellent. All right, next. So you can say, hey, how's everything? Like, is everything okay? Okay, so how is everything? Right? Like, how are things with your family, for example? Speaking of how are things, that's the next question that you can ask. Say, hey, how are things? Okay, now when you say how are things, it's like saying how is everything in your life, okay? Or maybe you're at work and you know your colleague is working on a project and you knock on their door. Hey, how are things? Everything okay? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay? And instead of how are things, this is another grammatically incorrect thing that we say, how's things? Yep, it hurts, right? But it's okay. You'll learn it. So these are the phrases that you want to learn because these are the tricky things that you might say, wait, what are they saying? That grammatically that makes no sense. But people talk like that, right? So how's things? All right. And you heard me ask this already, and that is, hey, how's life? Now, this is a question that you probably want to ask someone that you haven't seen in a long time. Now, are you tired yet? Or do you have more energy? I said there were going to be 35 of these, right? Have we done 35 yet? No. All right, I'm going to do some magic, and this board is going to have a lot more questions and greetings for you guys. So ready? 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Amazing, right? So let's continue with kind of yes, no questions. Hey, everything okay? Now, all of these that you see here, like everything, all, you, up to here, really they're asking, is everything okay? Are you doing okay? But when you're speaking, a lot of people just cut the auxiliary verb, the be verb, and they just say, hey, everything okay? Okay. Everything all right? Okay. Is everything okay? Is everything all right? So you can ask that, is everything okay in the current situation or in your life, right? It's like, oh, Frank, long time no see. Everything okay? All right, yeah. And the answer is no, everything is terrible. Everything is burning and I'm on fire. Or, yeah, everything's great. Sunshine, rainbows, life is beautiful. Woo! Depends on where you are in life, I guess. All right. So, next, all good? Is everything okay? Is everything good in your life? So again, you can say, hey, Barbara, all good? All good? All good. Okay. And they can answer, yep, all good. All right. So next, you doing okay? Are you doing okay? Or in, quick conversation, natural speech, you doing okay? Okay. You care about this person. You want to know if they are okay. And again, you can also say, hey, you doing all right? Okay. You notice I put the parentheses on doing because you can also just say, hey, you all right? One more time. You all right? I should have done the same here because you can also just ask, hey, you okay? All right. So next, some, time of day greetings. Maybe it's the afternoon or just before lunch. and you're seeing one of your colleagues, maybe you're seeing a classmate that you haven't seen this morning, and you say, hey, good afternoon, or hey, morning, how's your day? Right? So how is your day so far? Or how has your day been going? So here, how's your day going? That was unnatural the way I said it. So let's repeat that, and you repeat after me. How's your day going? Remember? Cut the G, right? Going. So let's just try with going. So repeat after me. Going. How's your day going? Yeah. And let's try a different one. How you doing? Beautiful. Okay, next. You noticed I put these in the same category except for the last one because it's special. And I put, what have you been up to? What's new? What's going on? What's happening? What's up? Or what up? And all of these questions are basically asking the same thing. They all mean, what's new? Hey, what's going on? What's happening? Okay? So, same, when someone asks you, what's up? The most common mistake with what's up is some students say, good, you? What's up means, what is new with you? Okay, what is happening with you in your life? Maybe at this moment, or maybe in your life in general. All right? So, what have you been up to means, hey, what have you been doing? So up to means, hey, what have you been up to? Or what are you up to? Bonus greeting, more than 35. What have you been up to? What are you up to? What are you doing? Okay. And what have you been doing with your life? Okay. So let's repeat these, and then we'll look at the most common responses that you can read if you want to read, but ignore them for now. All right, so let's go with this. What have you been up to? Okay, let's remove the auxiliary verb because that sometimes happens, and just read this part. Hey, what you been up to? Okay, repeat. What's new? What's going on? You're getting familiar with it, right? The no G. What's going on? Good. Hey, what's happening? Okay, let's be a little more fair. Happening is a difficult word, so let's slow it down. What's happening? Okay, now let's say happening. What's happening? Now you can almost cut it so it's like 2 syllables. You can say happening, right? So what's happening? All right. And what's up? Or very quickly, again, you're at work and you knock on your colleague's door. Hey, what up? Very fast, right? It sounds a little hard, but that's a very common question. What's up? What up? And the most common responses that are expected, most people just say, not much. But really, like, maybe you have something terrible happening in your life right now, or you're very busy, or your life is exciting, and there are many things happening. But the most common answer to what's up, what's new, what's going on, what's happening, what up, is not much. just regular life stuff is happening. Or you can say, same old. Same old means nothing is new. Okay, the same old things are still happening. Last time you saw me, I was just going to work. I was going home and feeding my dog, and I was watching a lot of Netflix. I'm still doing those three things. So not much, same old. You know, life is normal. But sometimes that's good too, right? Like we like the stability that provides. So not much, same old. What's new? What's going on? What's happening? What's up? What up? And you can also say, hey, what's the word? Okay, this means like what's new or what's the news of the day. So you can ask this about a person's life, or you can ask maybe about a situation in the company that you're working for, or a project that you're working on. So, hey, what's the word? Not much. Dan just quit. Did you hear that Dan quit? That's the word. That's the latest news. Okay. So this one is not as common. I left it for the end. So if you don't use this one, it's okay. Just to be aware that it exists, so that if you do hear it in a movie, if you do see it in a book, you will know it means like, hey, what's the latest news? These, however, are much more common, and you should be using them in your daily life, in your daily language practice. And that is everything for today. You have learned 35 ways to greet people. Yeah. It's exciting, right? So a lot of these videos you see like, how are you? Hi. Good. Okay, bye. Not this video. This is for those of you who want a little more, and you are a little more experienced in English, and you're maybe an intermediate or an advanced speaker, and you want to take your English to that next level, and you want to sound like a native speaker as natural as possible. Just come back to this video and, we can review all this stuff again.
Okay, next we have small talk. So we went through how to greet and say farewell, say goodbye to each other. So now when you meet someone, in most of the cultures, we have this way of small talking. We don't talk about like big or personal things at the, like, when you meet someone at that moment, like all of a sudden you don't go ahead and talk all personal things unless it's one of your really good friends or someone you really know and you wanted to talk about something. We usually make small talk. So that's something that is in most of the cultures, right? So maybe we talk about weather or sports, or maybe even something that like day-to-day life. Okay, so these are the ways of making small talk. So here's a conversation. So this is kind of formal. We do not, when in conversations, we usually base our formality based on the person we talk to. So if we are talking to someone in a formal professional setting, we use more formal way. We have more formal way of making small talk. Whereas if it's someone, maybe a friend or someone, we make it very informal. Okay, so what's the weather like? It's raining. Do you like it when it's rain? Not at all. I hate raining. What do you usually do when it's raining? I usually read books and listen to music. Oh, what's your favorite season? Why? Let's say I love spring when trees and flowers bloom. This is very formal. So we usually make formal talk, small talk even about things we watch, or things like, did you watch that game? Did you watch the game? And you may be like, yeah, and you talk about it. Or these are the ways, even if we talk about weather, So it's raining, right? These days it's raining, cats and rain, cats and dogs. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, with the work and having to travel and everything. So like that, we can carry on small talk. Okay, so let's watch a video on small talk to get more understanding on this.
Hi, I'm Ollie. Welcome to Oxford Online English. In this lesson, you can learn how to make small talk in English.
You'll learn how small talk can help you to connect with others around you. And you'll see examples of common small talk conversation topics and dialogues. You'll also see useful questions and tips you can use to make small talk in English.
First, if you enjoy our videos on YouTube, why not visit our website, oxfordonlineenglish.com. Every video lesson has the full script, and many have quizzes which you can use to practice. You can also take online lessons with one of our many great English teachers. Let's get back to our topic, small talk. What exactly is small talk, anyway? Hey.
Hi.
How's life?
Pretty good. You?
Not bad. What have you been up to recently?
Oh, not much. I've been busy at work. What about you?
I knew I was underwater. I just didn't realize I was this underwater.
What's new?
Same, though I'm going away next month. Really looking forward to it.
In the dialogue, you saw some basic small talk. Think about two questions. What is small talk? Why is small talk important?
Small talk means that you make a simple conversation. The topic is not important. When you make small talk, you don't give many details. You might ask questions like, how's life? What have you been up to recently? Or, what's new with you? But you don't expect a detailed answer. Many people dislike small talk or complain about it. They say that small talk is boring or that it's pointless. Small talk might be boring, but it's not supposed to be interesting. That's not its function. Small talk definitely isn't pointless. So, what's it for?
Small talk is a way to show friendliness and interest. What's more, small talk shows that you and the person you're talking to are on the same social level. Think about it. Managers don't usually make much small talk with their subordinates. Teachers in schools don't make a lot of small talk with their pupils. Police officers don't make small talk with criminals they arrest. Why not? It's about hierarchy. Managers are above their subordinates in the office hierarchy. It's the same for teachers and school children or police officers and criminals. They're on different social levels.
If you meet a new colleague or a new client, or you start a new class and you want to make friends, making small talk sends a social signal. It says, we're on the same level, so we can be friendly with each other. Plus, small talk is a way to avoid silence in conversation, which makes many people uncomfortable. So, what should you remember from this?
When you make small talk, don't worry about the topic and don't worry about being interesting. That's not the point of small talk. Remember the 3 questions you saw before? Can you remember them? These are useful for making small talk. Learn them and use them. Next, let's look at some common small talk topics. Are you from around here?
No, I grew up here, but I was born in Romania.
Really? Are you from Bucharest?
No, from Timisoara in the west.
I have to admit, I haven't heard of it.
That's okay. Most people haven't. It's a big city in Romania, but it's not so well known in other countries.
What's it like?
It's pretty, but there are more opportunities here. I'm planning to move back there in a few years. What about you? Are you local?
Kind of. I was born here, but when I was 5, my parents moved to Mexico and I grew up there. I moved back here after I graduated, but I haven't spent that much time here.
Wow, Mexico. Do you go back often?
Yeah, once or twice a year. It's quite far, but I still have some family and a lot of friends there.
A common small talk topic is your hometown and the place you live, or the places you have lived. To start a conversation, you could ask, where are you from? Are you from around here? Are you local? If someone asked you these questions, how would you answer?
You could say, I was born in, but I've been living here for a while now. Yes, I was born here and I've lived here all my life. I'm originally from. When you find out where someone is from, you can ask a follow-up question. For example, what's your hometown like?
With this question, it's more natural to use the name of the city. So say, what's Hangzhou like? What's Quito like? And so on. If the person you're talking to is from another city or country, you could ask, do you go back often? Remember, with small talk, keep your answers short. Give some information, but don't go into a lot of detail. Also, try to find a balance between asking questions and giving information about yourself. Next, what other common small talk topics can you think of? Let's look at another.
Don't buy another pair of glasses until you've seen what this new invention can do. These self-adjustable
Any weekend plans?
Not much. I'm planning to play tennis on Saturday, then maybe go out for dinner with some friends. You?
I'm just having a quiet weekend.
That's nice sometimes.
Actually, I prefer to get outdoors. I do a lot of wild swimming, but it's too cold at the moment, so I'm going to be boring and catch up on some housework.
Wild swimming? You mean swimming in lakes and rivers and so on? How did you get into that?
I used to be in a swimming club, and one of my friends there took me to a lake where you can do wild swimming. I started with short distances, and now I'm training for a 10K.
10 kilometers? That's crazy.
It's like anything. If you work towards it slowly, it's quite possible. Have you tried it?
No, I'm not big on swimming. I've done some long distance running, which I guess is similar in a way.
I wouldn't know. I hate running.
Talking about free time, hobbies, and plans for your days off is a common small talk topic. Look at 3 questions you heard in the dialogue. Can you remember the missing words? Small talk is generally informal, so it's usual to ask short questions like, any weekend plans? Rather than full questions like, do you have any plans for the weekend?
If someone has an interesting or unusual hobby, you could ask, how did you get into that? Could you explain what this means? This question is asking, how did you become interested in this? How did you start? You might answer with something like, I've been doing it for years. I got into it when I was a student. A friend took me one time, and I've been hooked ever since.
Finally, asking, have you ever tried it, is a good way to continue the conversation. If the other person says yes, you have more to talk about. Let's see one more common small talk topic. How was your weekend?
It was nice. My brother and his family came to stay.
Oh, yeah? So you have nephews and nieces?
Yeah, actually, I have 10.
Wow, I had no idea. How many of you are there?
Four boys. I'm the third.
You don't have kids, right?
No, not yet. You have one or two?
Just one. We'd like to have a second, but our apartment is so tiny, it's difficult to think about that right now.
What about the rest of your family? Do you have any brothers and sisters?
I have one brother and one sister and one niece. Nothing like your family. It must be chaotic when you all get together.
Yeah, it is. Fun though. First of all, be careful with asking people about their families if you're in another country or another culture. You don't want to be oversensitive, but in different cultures, some questions might sound too personal. For example, asking, are you married or do you have children to someone you just met might be uncomfortable.
It's difficult to say because so much depends on context. Just think about it and remember that in different cultures and countries, people might have different expectations. Another tip. It's good to wait for the other person to mention their family before you ask questions about it. For example, in the dialogue, Ali mentioned his brother, and then I asked him questions about the rest of his family.
Anyhow, let's see some useful small talk questions to ask about someone's family. In the dialogue, you heard, you have nephews and nieces? How many of you are there? You don't have kids, right? What about the rest of your family? Do you know how you would answer these?
In small talk, keeping the conversation going is the most important thing. It's more important than what you talk about or what information you get from the other person. So you might ask things which aren't genuine questions. Actually, of these 4 questions, only one is a real request for information. Do you know which one? The second is a real question where you're asking for information. What about the others?
The first and third are questions to check information. You use these when you think you know the answer already and you're asking for confirmation. You ask these questions to keep the conversation moving, not because you need information. The fourth question signals a small change of topic. In the dialogue, I used this question from asking about Laurie's immediate family to talking about her family more generally. In fact, in the dialogue, the question was immediately followed by a second question. Do you have any brothers or sisters? Now, let's talk about one more thing.
This brilliant device keeps your home cool in summer, even during heat waves and power outages. It's smaller than a lunchbox, cools any room within.
Are you a football fan?
Not really. I do like watching basketball though.
Really? I love basketball too. Do you go to many games or just watch on TV?
I go to, I guess, 4 or 5 games a season. You?
About the same. What about the game last week? Did you see it? That was a crazy result.
Yeah, I know, right? Great game though. I couldn't sleep afterwards. I was so hyped up.
Do you think they have a chance of winning?
I'm not sure. I don't want to get my hopes up.
I know what you mean. Hey, do you want to watch the game together this Saturday? I have some friends coming over to my house. You could join us. We'll have beer and snacks.
Oh yeah, thanks. That sounds great. You heard before that small talk doesn't need to be interesting. And the most important thing is to keep the conversation going. That's true, but what's the end goal? You can't make small talk forever. In the end, you need to develop a deeper conversation. That doesn't mean you need to get into serious topics. When we say deeper conversation, we mean a conversation you're both interested in and where you really want to hear what the other person has to say.
The best way to do this is to find things in common or shared interests. To do this, balance asking questions and giving information about yourself and try to avoid very short answers. For example, in the dialogue, I asked Laurie if she was a football fan. She said that she wasn't. Then she added that she likes a different sport, basketball. This gave us something new to talk about, and we found something we have in common. If you just answer, not really, then it's difficult to move the conversation forwards.
Finally, a question. Expectations and etiquette around small talk can be very different in different parts of the world. Compare what you've heard in this lesson to how things are in your country and your culture. Do you have a similar approach to small talk, or are there differences? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and share your ideas with English learners from all over the world. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so that was about small talk. Okay, now what you can do is, okay, practice this with someone. Since we are not doing this, since you're not joining the session or I don't meet you in physical, otherwise we could have practiced this in class. So I want you to practice. So we know how to greet someone when we meet and how to make small talk and how to bid goodbye at the end, right? So join all these three parts and try to have conversations with someone, or even try to have a solo conversation where you give reply and practice this somehow. Okay, so that is the main thing. Practice for communication skills. To build your communication skills, you need to practice, engage in conversation. So this is like the basics. Okay, so we'll be moving to self-introductions now. Okay, so there are ways, especially when it comes to professional setups, we will have to introduce ourselves to others. Maybe if you are new, to the other colleagues, you will have to introduce yourself. In a meeting, you will have to introduce yourself. Okay, so giving a self-introduction and how to do it is also important. Okay, so this is more of a common one. Okay, this example here, but I want you to think when it comes to different setups, right? Different occasions based on the context where you are, how you introduce yourself should change. Okay, so usually we are very used to when someone, okay, tell me about yourself, or talking about ourselves, we talk about these very common things, right? We talk about, my name is this, I'm this years old, and I live here, and I work here, these are my hobbies and all this. Okay, so think about, like, if when you meet someone for the first time and you have to give a self introduction, you need to introduce yourself. What are the things you want this person to know about you? So if it's a meeting, okay, so if it's a meeting, you are the person who's presenting or chairing the meeting. So these people who are present in the meeting should basically get to know about your professional background and how you are professional background, right? Doesn't matter what your hobby or what everything else is, what your favorite food and these things. But maybe when you meet someone, a stranger, at the random stranger, and you have small talk and you introduce yourself, then might be in a vacation or something, then might be hobbies and all these things might matter, right? So think about, if you are going for an interview and the interviewer asks, tell me about yourself, then that introduction has mostly to do with your professional background, your educational qualifications, these things. Okay, so based on the different setups, your introduction should differ, right? So let's watch this video. Tell me about yourself to get a little bit more understanding on this.
Hi, I'm Ollie. Welcome to Oxford Online English. In this lesson, you can learn how to answer the question, tell me about yourself.
To see more free English lessons, visit our website, oxfordonlineenglish.com. You can also book English classes with our fully qualified teachers who can help you with your English speaking, writing, IELTS preparation, or whatever else you need.
Don't forget to turn on the subtitles for this video if you need them. All our videos have English subtitles. You can turn them on now. Just click the CC button in the bottom right of your video player.
Tell me about yourself. This question makes people nervous. What can you say? Honestly, this is a bad question to ask. If I was giving someone a job interview, I would never ask this question because it makes people feel uncomfortable.
Wait.
But you might hear it and need to answer. Maybe in a job interview, or an interview for university, or an English exam, or somewhere else.
In this lesson, you'll see answers to this question for 4 different situations. 1. In a job interview. 2. In a university interview. 3. In an English exam. This is the most general example, so if you just want a general way to respond to tell me about yourself, watch this section. 4. When introducing yourself to new colleagues. Before we look at our sample answers, let's see 4 general tips.
First, think about the context you're in. Tell me about yourself doesn't mean tell me everything about yourself. You need to choose where to focus. For example, in a job interview, you should focus on your professional background. In an English exam, you'll probably give a more general answer.
Secondly, keep your answer short and focused. Our sample answers are mostly around 3 or 4 sentences. This is a good length to aim for.
Thirdly, remember that this question will usually be asked at the beginning of an interview. In most cases, the interviewer won't pay much attention to the content of what you say, so don't worry about it too much. The most important thing is that you can answer confidently and coherently.
Finally, here's a suggestion for a general structure. Make 1 or 2 sentences about your past, 1 or 2 sentences about your current situation, and 1 or 2 sentences about the future. Now, let's see some examples. I'm currently working in HR for Dell, but actually, as you've probably seen from my CV, my background is in graphic design. I've been wanting to get back to graphic design work for some time, and that's why I applied for this position. In this answer, you talk about your current situation and then add details about your background.
It's a simple answer, but that's fine. It's focused and clear, and it gives your interviewer the chance to ask for more details if he or she wants. Let's see one more example. I've been working in biomedical research for about 5 years.
Is it difficult to get hold of latest trade data in the textile and apparel industry?
I completed my PhD 4 years ago, and I worked for a small pharmaceutical company here until, unfortunately, It went out of business recently. So I'm currently looking for a new position in biotech, pharma, or anything related to my training and experience.
This answer is a little more detailed. It also doesn't really include information about the future. That's okay. The past, present, future idea isn't a template which you have to follow. It's just a way to organize your ideas. Let's look at some language from these examples. In sentences 3 and 4, after in, you need to name a sector. For example, I've been working in the education sector for 7 years. If you want to name a company, use at. For example, I've been working at HSBC for a year and a half.
Could you complete these sentences to make them true for you? Pause the video and try it now. Say the sentences out loud. Next, let's look at university interviews. I've always loved drama, watching plays, and everything else connected with the theater. I've been involved in our school drama society for several years, both in terms of acting in productions and also working behind the scenes with set design, lighting, and things like that. I've known for a long time that I want to be an actor, and studying drama here would be a logical next step towards that goal, I think. This answer gives more details about the speaker's past experience and less information about the present and future. As you heard before, this is no problem. Don't feel that you need to have a certain number of sentences about the past or whatever. Different answers will fit different situations. Be flexible.
Let's see one more sample answer. I always knew I wanted to be a scientist, even when I was little. My best subjects throughout school have been maths and science, but at this point, I'd like to specialize more, which is why I'm applying to study astrophysics. I'm doing my IB next month, and my predicted grade is 40 or higher. I'm hoping you'll offer me a place to study here, and I'm excited to start my studies in September. These answers are specialized. They focus on particular subjects, but there are several pieces of language you can use, whatever you study. Let's look. Of course, you can change these phrases to fit your situation. For example, if you're still at school, you'll probably say are or have been in number 2 instead of were. Now it's your turn to practice. Use these 4 phrases to make your own answer using your own ideas. Pause the video and say your answer out loud now.
How was that? You might need to practice a few times to get everything fluent. Take your time and practice as many times as you need. Next, let's see how to answer "tell me about yourself" in a more general way. For example, in an English exam.
Honestly, in most English exams, you are not likely to be asked this question. In common international exams like IELTS or the Cambridge exams, questions are more focused. But it's possible. Or you might need to answer the question, "Tell me about yourself," in a different situation. Let's look at a more general answer to this question. Well, I was born in Vladivostok, but my dad moved around a lot for his work, so I grew up in different places: Japan, the Philippines, and Malaysia. Currently, I'm working part-time and studying for a master's in film production. I'm pretty interested in film, video production, and things like that. So I'm hoping to work in that sector once I finish my studies.
You can see that the answer is more general and personal, rather than focusing on work or studies. Let's see one more. I'm originally from Buenos Aires, but I've been living here in Dublin for several years now. I worked for an ad agency as a copywriter, which is something I never imagined I would do, but I really like it. I was never good at English when I was younger, so it's weird that I ended up working in a job which requires very high-level language skills. I like living here, but I feel like I'd also like to travel and experience living in other places. So I'm thinking about moving to Canada or the US in the next year or so.
This is the longest of our sample answers, but it's still quite short, about 100 words. Remember that you don't want your answer to be too long. Keep it short and focused. If you're asked the question, tell me about yourself in an English exam or general situation, let's see some language you can use to build an answer.
In number 2, you put a company after for and your position after as. For example, I'm working for Google as a tester. In number 4, you put an ing verb after about to describe something which you are considering doing in the future. For example, I'm thinking about changing jobs. Let's try together. Make your own answer using these 4 phrases. If you want, add more sentences or details to your answer. Pause the video and make your answer now.
How was that? Easy? Difficult? If it's difficult, read the sample answers. You can find the text on our website. Use the sample answers as a model and change the details so that you're using your own information. Let's move on to our last section.
I want to share my culture with new friends from around the world.
Sometimes if you start working in a new company, you'll have to introduce yourself in a meeting. Here, your answer should focus on your professional background, like in a job interview. However, you'll probably use a more conversational tone. Let's see our first sample. My name's Gwen, and as you maybe know, I just started here. This is my first week, in fact. I'm working in the marketing department as a web marketing coordinator. My background is a mix of marketing and software. I started my career as a software engineer. I'm still finding my feet, and I haven't met all of you yet, but I'm looking forward to working with you all. If you're walking past my office, come and say hi.
If you work in a larger company, you might need to introduce yourself to colleagues, even if you've worked there for some time. For example, if you're starting a project with people you've never worked with before. Let's see how that could look. Hi, I'm Elias. I'm the CISO, so I'm responsible for online security and keeping our computers and networks safe. You've probably seen me around because I've been working here for a while, almost 10 years now. As you just heard, all staff need to take our cybersecurity training class, so you'll be learning about how to stay safe online with me or one of my colleagues in the next month or 2.
Here's your final challenge. Imagine you've started a new job and you have to introduce yourself to your colleagues in a meeting. Make an answer to introduce yourself. You can use all the language you've seen in this lesson. Try to make your answer 3 or 4 sentences long. Say your answer out loud.
Could you do it? If so, great. If not, keep practicing. You can also review the lesson and the sample answers to get ideas. Now, we hope that hearing the question, tell me about yourself, won't make you feel so nervous.
So, tell me about yourself. Practice your answers and put them in the comments and share them with other students. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so I want you to practice. Take different situations like it was shown in the video, especially when it's an interview. How are you going to introduce yourself? If they ask the question, tell me about yourself. And in workplace, when you go, when you join some place for the first time, at the beginning, how you would want to introduce yourself, how you can introduce yourself to the others. Okay, so if you just meet someone randomly in the road or on the way, so then how it's going to be different. Okay, so think about these three situations and practice. And this you can practice individually. So practice individually how you are going to introduce yourself in different situations. Okay, so yes, now we have a reading comprehension. Okay, so professional profile summary. So I told you we are doing professional profiles. We are practicing we're going to practice writing professional profiles. So we will be doing the reading task first, then we are going to write our own professional profile. So professional profile is something like this. Okay, where it's more like tell me about yourself in the written form. Okay, so before we go to that, I want you to go through the vocabulary task. Okay, go through these 6 words and match the definitions. Check the dictionary and match the definitions so you can understand the summaries better. Okay. Okay, let's discuss. So skilled, we'll go through the definitions, it's easier. Someone who designs buildings is an architecture. You know that, right? Known by many people, famous. Known by many is famous. Someone who owns part of a business is a partner, right? When you own businesses together, it's a partner. The department that takes care of people who buy products or services, customer service. Good at doing something, skilled. You are skilled if you are good at doing something, skilled at this. Able to use original ideas to create something that is creative. Okay, now let's go through the professional profiles. So first one is Maria. I'm an architecture with 20 years experience of design and developing spaces. I'm a partner in the award-winning STG Architects Ltd, which is famous for its work on the Dalroy building in London. I enjoy working with people from all over the world and have international experience of working in Italy, Greece, Thailand, Australia, and Brazil. I have a Master of Science from Sheffield University and a BA in Architecture from Hull University. I also speak Italian and Thai. When I'm not working, I spend my time hiking, skiing, and diving. Okay, let's move to Emily. I'm an experienced sales manager with 12 years experience of developing customer service teams. I'm skilled in negotiation, team motivation, and building successful sales teams. After 10 years of working in sales and customer service at Harlow Bank, I'm now the sales office manager of a team of 120 at Southern General Plastics Ltd. I have an MBA from Stanford University and a degree in business studies from Cornell University. I'm creative and hardworking and enjoy working with others. Okay, now first move to the true or false questions. Okay, I'll give you some time. Okay, not true or false. You have to, you have to pick whether this statement is about Maria or Emily. Okay, I'll give you some time to do that. Okay, let's discuss the answers. She manages a large team of people. Let's see, manager. The first one doesn't say this one. I am the sales manager with 12 years experience employing I'm skilled negotiation. Team manager of team of now sales office. Yes, so that is the second one, Emily. This is Emily. She is a partner of a company, that is Maria, right? She has worked in many different countries, which one says country names. Experience working in Italy, Greece, Thailand, that is Maria again. Her last job was in a bank. Last job. Customer service at Harlow Bank. Working sales customer service at Harlow Bank. Yes, that is Emily. She speaks 2 other languages. I also speak Italian and Thai. That is Maria. She likes outdoor sports. That is also Maria, as I can remember. Skiing, hiking, and diving. Yes. Now let's move to the next task. Complete the sentences. You have some words given. You have to complete the sentences using these words. Okay, I'll give you some time. Okay, let's discuss. Maria has worked as an architecture for 20 years. For the number of years. Maria's company, STG Architects Ltd, is for working on Galroy building, is famous for working on the Galroy building. Maria likes working with people from all around the world. Maria likes hiking, skiing, and diving in her free time. Emily has spent 12 years managing customer service teams. One of Emily's skills is building successful sales teams. Emily studied business studies at Cornell University. Emily is creative and works hard. Okay, now let's get back to these professional profiles. I want you to write your own professional profile now. So see, you first give your professional background mostly. So when you are writing the professional profile, who you are now. Okay, so over the years, I am this and I have this much of experience. And first I have worked here and for this much of years, so I have been doing this and I have completed this. These are my qualifications. And also you can have other skills, like if you can speak other languages, if you are fluent in other languages or any other skills, any soft skills. Okay, so that's what a professional profile is about. Okay, let's write one. Practice writing a professional profile. Okay, so basically, you need to add your work experience. If you don't have work experience, then you can talk about your qualifications and maybe your plans, what you want to do in the future. Okay, and which areas you are interested in and other skills you have. Work experience and education qualifications, educational qualifications, and maybe your other skills. Okay, so yes, let's write this, a professional profile summary. I'll give you some time. Okay, so I hope you have written your professional profile summaries. Okay, so we went through the very basics today. We went through greetings, small talk, self-introductions, and professional profile summaries. Okay, so that is the end of lesson 1. Okay, so as I told you, most of the this lesson was based on communication, speaking practice. What you basically need the foundation you need to practice speaking in a professional setup or even in informal setups. That's okay, but mostly to get you through the interview skills in when it comes to oral skills, interview skills, and then presentation skills, chairing meetings, these other things in speaking. We just laid the basics, the foundation today. And yes, and the professional profile summary is an additional thing that I want you to practice writing that will be helpful for you. Okay, so that is it for today, for this lesson. So I see you in the next lessons.